All right, joining me now is a gentleman who has been on quite a personal journey as well as now a professional journey. He returns to the Bellator cage at Bellator 290 when he takes on Sabah Homasi. It is the pride of Waterbury, Connecticut, the one and only Brennan Ward. Hi, Brennan. How are you?
What's up, brother? How are you, man? I'm good. Thanks for having me.
You are in the gym now, I see. What are you up to?
Yeah, no, I'm right about to start wrestling practice here at my old college, Johnson Wales. If anyone knows me, they know I like to stay pretty active with this team. These are my boys up here. It's good to help them out. They help me out. It's good. It's a good thing.
You just get in on the practices, or like they cater to you?
Oh no, I jump in on the practices, man. I jump in on the practices and and go at it. They got a couple returning national champs. They got, they're number 2. They're ranked number 2 in the country right now. They got some tough bodies in here, and obviously wrestling is was my first love, man. So I love to come here, and it's always great when I have a fight during wrestling season. It's great training,
All right, so let me ask you a sort of a weird question to start. The guy I do this show with, he's from Connecticut, right? Like born and raised Connecticut, okay? So he's from a place called Naugatuck, Connecticut. Are you familiar with it? I'm familiar with Naugatuck, yes. What's it like?
I've only been there a couple times for a softball tournament, but I'll tell you, I kind of know where you're going with this little Connecticut, and everyone's like, you better set them straight about Connecticut. Tell them how awesome we are. And, some parts of Connecticut are great. Some parts are not too great. Where we're at on the coastline, Naugatuck is, let me just say it's not my first spot to go in Connecticut. If I'm going to suggest some tourism here, you got to come where we're at, man. Naugatuck, maybe might crack the top 50 towns to see, maybe 60.
I think he's in a town called Avon now, so I think he's leveled up a little bit.
All right, that's better. Avon's not too bad. Not too bad. So.
All right, here's another question for you. Now, you are a member of a union, correct? A labor union.
Yes. Yeah, I'm a part of the Carpenters Local 326 out of Connecticut. Yeah.
So, do you ever have any thoughts about the idea of a MMA fighters union? Do you think it would be a good idea, or where are you on that issue?
Yeah, I think it was not this past fight, the one before. I spoke to somebody about a potential fighters union, and I would love to see it happen. But, for me, like the biggest roadblock with that would be getting all the promotions on the same page. That would be the hard part, because, it would have to be the fighters, the fighters would be represented by the union, but we would be working for, Bellator, UFC, PFL, Ryzen, One. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you would have to make it really worth it, Luke. You would have to have all the major promotions on the same page that would abide by these fighters, their union rights. So it would be tough. It would be tough.
Okay, but in your personal life with that trade, what would you say the benefits you personally get from being in that union? What is the value to you?
The value to me, more so the benefits now that I have a family. You know what I mean? The health benefits are second to none. Our health care, we have a great annuity, a great pension. Which is, and it's great. I'm personally 3rd generation union. My father, my grandfather was in the union, so we make a great living, and we're professionals, man. When you hire a union company, you're getting the pros, man, and we take great pride in what we do, and it's allowed me it's provided a good life for me, so much so that I don't need to fight right now. Financially, I want to make a comeback because I know I can be the champ. So that's why.
It's funny. You've had 2 fights after your last fight in 2017. When do you feel like and I mean this like in a positive way, but like, haven't you already come back? When you say the comeback, what does that mean? What has to happen for that to be fulfilled?
So when I had my first fight back last year in February, and then again in June, I was just gonna fight, not to say middle of the road guys, but no top contenders. I wasn't going to take any time off my job. And I was just, and what you got is what you got. I trained a couple times a week. Like my fight in June, I trained maybe once or twice a week, and I go out there, and I'm fighting a guy who's, not necessarily a contender, but this kid's training full time. So I said, you know what, the opportunity came to fight Sabah on the main card, and I haven't worked in by the time the fight comes, it'll be over 2 months. I've been training full time again, like I did when I was young. And to me, that's the comeback. I put my job aside. My company, I have a great relationship with my company, my union contracting company, and they gave me the time off. I've been grinding 2-3 times a day, every day. And to me, that's the comeback right now, because there's no one's going to stop me from getting the belt at 170 and the belt at 185.
So just to clarify, this is the first time you've been full-time training since you were like what, 15, 16, something like that?
Oh, probably 2014. Yeah, 2014.
So how, was it hard to get the time off this time? I mean,
no, it wasn't. It was harder for myself to be like, to really like make that commitment and say, you know what? Oh, this is open. All right. To, to really make that commitment and say, you know what? I'm going to take a break from my union job, and I'm going to thank you, bro. I'll be out in a minute. And, to take that time off and say, hey, dude, roll the dice, take the risk, and let's do this thing. You know what I'm saying? I was not that I'm too comfortable with my life, like working in the union every day, but it's easy. You show up, not that it's easy, but you show up, you do your job, you go home. And there's really not, there's not all this risk involved with it. With the fighting, I said, hey, this could pay off. It could not pay off. But as hard as I've been working, I can't see myself not becoming a champ by doing what I'm doing right now. I can't see it. I can't see anybody stopping me right now,
You have such a positive mindset. Do you ever, though, look at like the end of a week's train and you're like, man, if I just stayed consistent, how good I'd be? I'm not saying you're a bad fighter, but far from it. You're in a great opportunity. But you know what I mean? Like all that missed time.
So that's been big, Luke. I'm glad you asked that, because that's been big over the last, probably since I really, really got in crazy good shape this past month. I've been full-time for about 2 months now, but this past month, I really broke through that wall, and I can spar all day and I can wrestle all day. And I'm like, man, if I did this 10 years ago, I can't go back. I can't go back. I can't look in the rear view like that, because there's all kinds of woulda, coulda, shouldas. I'm sure you have them. I have them. Everyone has them, but I'm here now. I'm doing what I got to do now to become the champ. Bellator still has faith in me after, over 10 years of being with them, and I'm in this spot for a reason. And all I can do is go forward and give it everything I got right now and be an example to everybody who's been down. You can come back, and dude, I'm going to be a world champ,
On the one sense, you lost time training. On the other one, though, it's not like you were out there getting beat up between 2017 and 2022. In some sense, your body was somewhat preserved, although there was obviously the partying. That's not great for it. But I guess I would ask, at 34, now training this way, how do you feel relative to 22, 23, 24? So,
and that's another thing I talk about, because of my age, I'm 34. I said, when I start slowing down, and when I start losing a step on these college kids, these returning national champs, I'll be real with myself. I'll say, you know what? I'm starting to lose it. I'm starting to lose my step. I'm a step behind these guys. I'm not. I'm a step ahead. I'm a step ahead of these 22-year-old kids. You know what I mean? My father is 75 years old. This dude you look up, this dude will be 80 feet up in a tree. No harness, no nothing. We're built different in my family. You know what I'm saying? We don't age like regular people. I hate to sound like that, but it's just true. I'll have my father take his shirt off. Dude. The guy's ripped, 75. He could beat up 25-year-olds.
So as long as you feel good, this is just full steam ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna run it as long as I feel good, because I don't want to look back, Luke, when I'm 40, 50 years old and say, oh man, I should have gone back. When I got clean, I got sober, I was in great shape. Why didn't I fight? Like, why didn't I? I don't want to have those regrets, man. I don't want to have those regrets. I don't think anybody should have those regrets. I think if you want to do something, do it. As long as it's not going to totally fuck you over or your family over, do it. You know what I'm saying? By me taking 2 months off of work, I'm not hurting my family in any way. I'm not hurting myself. I'm doing nothing but helping my family out, because I'm getting paid no matter what. And no matter what happens in this fight, it's something good's coming out of this. I really 100% see the victory. I see the victory 100%. I don't have to try to convince myself, oh, I've done the work, I can win. I see victory like I did when I was a kid, like I did when I ran through that tournament. I used to not think I could lose, and I'm back to that. But it is MMA, little teeny gloves, anything could happen. But it really don't matter, man. I'm on a good path right now, and I'm just I'm chasing. I'm gonna run it for as long as I can.
So what has Bellator told you? I want to talk about the Sabah Homasi fight in just a minute, but
Yeah.
what have they told you? Because you were gone from the organization. You came back. You did have the 2 fights, both in 2022. They both went your way, but now you're talking about stepping up. I know you signed, I think, a new deal with them. What is their vision for your future this year?
You know, I've been with Bellator so long, man, that they're great. They are great, you know, and I get asked a lot, you know, hey, what after this contract? What do you do after this contract? You fight this out. Cause I only, you know, I didn't sign a long contract. I only signed a 4-fight deal. You know what I mean? And I already have one of them, and I'm about to have another one, you know, in a couple of weeks. And they've been so good to me, you know, over these last 10 years. And they'll support whatever I want to do. If I want to work 60 hours a week, my union job, and just fight at Mohegan Sun and sell the place out and fight middle of the road people, they'll be like, okay, let's do that. But I say, hey, Scott, Jane, I want to become the fucking champ. I want to get your belt. I want both those belts. And they'll say, okay, let's go. Fight on the main card of CBS against a contender. All right, let's do it. They're great, man. Bellator has been so good to me, you know. And I burnt some bridges with them too when I left. You know what I'm saying?
How so? How did you burn them?
Well, I mean, it's not, you know, it's not a secret that I had a falling out with Rich Chow, you know, and he did not want me back. He did not want, and as long as Rich Chow was with Bellator, I was not going to be with Bellator. He was not letting me back in that door. And so once he left, I got back in, and you know, and I've since then I've kind of spoke to Rich a little bit last year. You know, haven't like formally apologized for the things I said and did to him, but you know, we'll get there one of these days. And you know, and if our paths cross, you know, I'll shake his hand and give him a hug, because we were friends. You know, we were friends, and you know, I was in a bad place, and I was doing some gnarly stuff, and I wasn't living a great life, and you know, but so
fair enough. All right, so they brought you back. You're going to be on this card for Bellator 290.
Yep.
Sabah Homasi's the guy, like you, a bit of a banger, right? So size him up for me as an opponent. What are you expecting?
So I'm expecting Sabah, like myself, to come out fast and hard, and I think it's going to be I'm so excited for this fight because fans are excited for this fight. Since the day I got back last year in February and they announced I was fighting again, and all the comments, Ward versus Homasi, Ward versus Homasi. And then they finally announced it. Like, the fans got excited. MMA fans in general were excited about it. That makes me excited about it. I don't want to fight these guys that no one knows or no one cares about. I want fights like this, a good matchup. Dude, there's guys that are ranked higher than me and Sabah on the undercard. Undercard. That'll tell you something about my style and about Sabah's style. Dude, we put on the show. And I'm happy. He should be proud of that, because I'm proud of that. It's like, Sabah, you should be proud that they chose me and you to go open up this card. You know what I'm saying? And I know he's working as hard as I am. You know what I'm saying? He's not fucking around, and I'm not fucking around. So it's going to be gnarly. It's going to be a good one, man. And I can't say I'm going to run through him, and he can't say he's going to run through me. Dude, we're going to go out there and clash heads and bang. That's a fact right there. You know?
So this one is like, your mind is dead set on victory, but you don't have a clear sense of how it's going to get there, is what it sounds like.
I do.
Okay.
I have a clear sense. Yeah, I do. Yeah, he's going to come out fast and hard. I'm going to come out fast and hard. I'm going to wear him down. I've been wrestling like a motherfucker. I've been sparring like a motherfucker, dude. I'm going to wear this dude down, you know? And that's it. We're going to put the nose to the grindstone, and we're going to see who can grind who out. I'm going to grind him right out.
Since the site that you have in front of you, I should say the way in which you are framing your future as championship, tell me what your championship qualities are. When you look in the mirror and you say, I'm going to be a champion, what are the things that get you there?
As far as my physical attributes, or like my fight game, or what? Or
both your physical attributes, fight skills, all the things, all that works together to be a champion, right?
I mean, listen, you know, I'm bigger, faster, and stronger than most guys that fight at 170 pounds. You know what I'm saying? There's not a sport that I didn't play. There's not a sport I can't play right now. I'm one of the most athletic dudes in MMA. I've seen some of these guys. I've seen guys try to swing golf clubs and baseball bats and shoot a basketball. They're not pure athletes. I'm a pure athlete. There's not a sport I can't. I was a 3-sport athlete my whole high school career. I was going to play 2 sports in college. You know what I mean? So as far as athleticism goes, I'm far superior than a lot of guys in the athletic department. And look what I came from, dude. I came from the gates of hell, dude. I was addicted to fentanyl. Yeah, oxys, heroin, fentanyl. That's where my road ended. You don't want to see the champ? I'll become the champ and prove to everybody that you can be down as low, dude, low. I was 160 pounds walking around a barge. Come on, man.
Jesus.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And now look at me. I'm ripped right now at 182. I'm 10 pounds over and I'm got full of energy, full of life, dude. And I'm coming for that belt. And I'll be example to the world of what you can do when you turn your life around. I'll be example to the world.
Brennan, I have to ask, just because I don't, addiction has reached into far places in America, but so has the fentanyl crisis. And I'm sort of wondering, how did nothing worse happen to you? Right? I mean, there's so many stories of accidental overdose or bad batch that or whatever,
and I hate to be too raw with this right now, but it's a big problem. It's a huge problem. So I'll be as raw as I gotta be, So I wasn't a recreational user. A lot of guys that drop dead, not all, but a lot of the cases of these ODs are guys that, they might think they have a Roxy or a Perk 30, and it's not, it's pressed with fentanyl. And those are the kids that die. Those are like they're not your everyday drug users that die. I was an every single day, all day addict. I knew what I was getting. I got it from the same guys. You know what I mean? I had a wicked habit. I had a huge tolerance. So
crazy.
Yeah, and thank God nothing happened.
It's brought you to this moment. Let me ask one last question about this.
Yeah,
which is, since whatever moment was rock bottom to this conversation, we're talking that time frame, what's been the single hardest thing in all of it to get you to this spot?
The single hardest thing, I would say just committing to turning it around, because everything has to change. Look, you have to change everything about your life. I had to fucking change everything. I had to change companies. I had to stop hanging out with my friends. I had to get back in the gym. I had to get in better graces with my girl. I had to go to fucking detox. I had to go to rehab. It's like, dude, everything has to change. Like, and when you're sitting there and you're in like the throes of this addiction and this fucking like nonstop like spin cycle, you can't see an out because it's overwhelming, because everything has to change. It seems so overwhelming, and so for me, the first step was getting into a detox, and really saying, this is it. And then it's months and your brain's not right for months and months and months after that. You're depression, anxiety, everything that goes with it, because once the physical sickness is gone, dude, you're fighting a gnarly mental battle, dude. That depression and anxiety is crazy. And guess what? It can all be fixed like that. Depression gone, boom. Anxiety gone, boom. Just go get a bag. You'll feel better. You can't. You got to just fight through it. You got to get through those months of the pain and suffering. It's like, dude, you walk 5 miles into the woods. What's up? You got to walk 5 miles out, bro. You know what I mean? That's right. That's what it is,
Right. Wow, man. I got to tell you, you know what? There's actually like a fair amount of like bad news in MMA these days. And I just think, win or lose, Brennan, this is like your story's good news, right?
Yeah.
There's some good news in MMA. It's really great to see. I tell you what, man, win or lose, I would love to talk to you after the fight. I want to see what happens with this. I think this journey of yours is truly remarkable. I know you got practice, so we're going to let you roll, but
awesome.
Bellator 290, it's going to be the 4th of February, live on CBS. This guy, Sabah Homasi, opening the card. Brennan, quite an achievement just to get to this point. And I really mean it. Win or lose, this is all good news, I think, for the sport, your story.
Thank you so much, Luke. I appreciate you, man. I really do.